There she was, just walking down the street singing.
In 1964, South Florida rivaled New York and LA as a TV entertainment mecca. Muhammad Ali, then named Cassius Clay, would become champion of the world, annihilating Sonny Liston at Miami Beach's Convention Center.
They called him Flipper, Flipper.
A bottlenose dolphin named Flipper was king of the TV airwaves. But the really big shoe was about to take place.
Here come the Beatles! Here they come!
On February 13th, a crowd of 7,000 jammed the airport tarmac at Miami International to greet the Fab Four.
I just remember the multitude of people screaming.
The Centurion brothers were there. Their grandfather had pulled them out of Catholic school to witness the Beatles' arrival.
Over the PA of the school, we got called to the principal's office.
For a moment, I thought we were going back to Cuba. Only when we got in the car, he turned around and said, "We're going to go see the Beatles. Don't tell your mother."
And all we saw possibly was just mop tops, and we don't even know if it was the Beatles. We just know that it was mass hysteria there.
He took my hand! He took my hand!
You didn't even have to be at the airport to see what was going on.
Joe Johnson, host of the nationally syndicated Beatle Brunch, heard it all on the radio when he was just 6 years old.
Back then on that little tiny radio speaker, there was just something really magical about it.
In less than a minute, Paul, George, Ringo, and John were inside their limo and pulling away in a 12 police motorcade.
And that was just like paradise. Because, we'd never been to anywhere where there was palm trees.
The Deauville Hotel at 67th and Collins would be the Beatles' home base. From here, they would perform live on national TV on the top-rated Ed Sullivan Show. But first, they had some sightseeing to do.
This was just the most brilliant place I'd ever been to.
Miami's elite lined up to offer the Beatles the use of their homes, their swimming pools, even a 60-foot yacht with Ringo Starr at the controls.
Which I proceeded to bring in to port head on. They have those pretty rails on the front hanging out. Well, this one just bent them.
Bingo! Yes, but forgot!
Their sanctuary was here on the 12th floor of the Deauville.
We stayed in a hotel most of the time and sort of looked down on the sand where the kids, the fans, would write, "I love John."
Who are you? Which one are you?
After 3 days of soaking in South Florida, it was time to get down to business.
And now from the stage of the Deauville Hotel, here he is, Ed Sullivan.
It was just very exciting.
Lee Elterman was in the audience that night. Her husband, Dick Elterman, was a manager at the Deauville and scored front row seats for Lee and their 2 sons.
Everybody stood up and screamed, and the girls especially.
The Beatles, bring them on!
It all looked and sounded great, but the Beatles almost missed their introduction.
The Beatles are coming down the elevator, and the crowds were so enormous that they couldn't get from the elevator to the stage in time.
Ed Sullivan did his best to stall the millions of TV viewers.
Thank you, Ralph Rennick.
And he's all perplexed. He doesn't know what to do. He's professional, but he's kind of, he's starting to sweat a little bit.
Sullivan finally tossed to a Lipton tea commercial filmed earlier at the Deauville's pool. That bought enough time for the Beatles to make it onto the stage.
They were all cute, except Ringo. He wasn't as cute as the other 3.
The band's second set was riddled with technical problems. Paul's mic was too low. His voice was drowned out by John Lennon's.
I'll never dance with another.
But it didn't seem to matter. They were still the greatest. On their last day, the boys headed to South Beach's 5th Street Gym to meet with the soon-to-be champ.
They're great fight fans, and they even took a knockout for Muhammad. They laid down and we counted 10. But who could knock out the Beatles? They were the greatest.
Yeah, it's great.
They were cute, weren't they?
The performance was amazing.
Drive carefully. Good night.